I sing the same melody only one octave higher, but it's no change. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to His Holiness Candramauli Maharaj's daily class. We are very thankful for your presence here today, and we have the honor of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Her Grace Sukhavaha Mataji today. So, Sukhavaha Mataji, welcome to His Holiness Candramauli Maharaj's daily class. My humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And over to you. I will screen share the verse for you. Thank you so much.
My humble obeisances to you too, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our Guru Maharaj.
For some reason, it's not allowing me to minimize the screen. Should I give you screen sharing?
Yeah, I can share my screen if
okay.
you.
So let me go to your name, and then over there I can give you screen sharing ability. The usual co-host. Yes, there we go. You should be able to screen share now.
Can you see my screen now? Can you see the screen? Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Yes, we can see the screen. Thank you.
Okay. I thought you can't hear me, so I was a bit worried. Something I did wrong. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay, so let's start with the prayers today. Om Jnanatimidam.
Mataji, if I can humbly request you to place the light in front of you, because it seems like the light is behind you and your face is all in darkness.
Okay, let me see if I can rearrange a little bit. Is this better?
Yes, very much better. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. You can see still my screen, yeah? It's not changed. Thank you. Okay, so let's start with the prayers. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurudeva Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vesavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vidhamtam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagunar Lalita Sri Vishakhamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranavami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyasya Krupa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you everyone for giving me the chance to say something in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, I'm not as qualified as you are, Mataji. I'm just asking for the blessings from all the senior devotees and Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada to speak something which I have learned in the past couple of days by just meditating on this verse. So if any corrections, please correct me at the end of this class. Thank you so much. So we are today reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, chapter 12, verse 24. Sarva Sadguna Mahatmaye Esha Krishnam Anuvartha Ranti Deva Ivudaro Yayati Riva Dharmikaha. We'll say word to word translation. Sarva Sadguna Mahatmaye is glorified by all godly attributes. Esaha, this child. Krishna, like Lord Krishna. Anuvrata, a follower in his footsteps. Rantideva, Eva, like. Udaraha, in the matter of magnanimity. Yayati, Eva, like. Dharmikaha, concerning religion. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. This child will be almost as good as Lord Sri Krishna. By following his footsteps in magnanimity, he will become as great as King Rantideva, and in religion, he will be like Maharaja Yayati. Purport. The last instruction of Lord Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita is that one should give up everything and should follow in the footsteps of the Lord alone. Less intelligent person do not agree to this great instruction of the Lord. As ill luck would have it, but one who is actually intelligent catches up this sublime instruction and is immensely benefited. Foolish people do not know that association is the cause of acquiring qualities. Association with fire makes an object hot. Even in this material sense, Therefore, association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead makes one qualified like the Lord. As we have discussed previously, one can achieve 78% of godly qualities by Lord's intimate association. To follow the instructions of the Lord is to associate with the Lord. The Lord is not a material object whose presence one has to feel for such association. The Lord is present everywhere and at all times. It is quite possible to have his association simply by following his instruction, because the Lord and his instruction and the Lord and his name, fame, attributes, and paraphernalia are all identical with him. Being absolute knowledge, Maharaj Parikshit associated with the Lord even from the womb of his mother up to the last day of his valuable life. And thus he acquired all the essential good qualities of the Lord in all perfection. Rantideva. We'll see a little bit about who was Rantideva, the king. An ancient king prior to Mahabharat period, referred to by Narada Muni while instructing Sanjaya, as mentioned in Mahabharata Drona Parva 67. He was a great king, liberal for hospitality and distribution of foodstuff. Even Lord Sri Krishna praised his act of charity and hospitality. He was blessed by the great Vasistha Muni for supplying him cold water, and thus he achieved the heavenly planet. He used to supply fruits, roots, and leaves to the rishis, and thus he was blessed by them with fulfillment of his desires. Although a Kshatriya by birth, he never ate flesh in his life. He was especially hospitable to Vasistha Muni, and by his blessings, only he attained the higher planet residence. He is one of those pious kings whose name are remembered in the morning and evening. Yayati, so the great emperor of the world and the original forefather of all great nations of the world, who belonged to the Aryan and Indo-European stock. He is the son of Maharaja Nahusa, and he became the emperor of the world due to his elder brothers becoming a great and liberated saintly mystic. He ruled over the world for several thousands of years and performed many sacrifices and pious activities recorded in history. Although his early youth was very lustful and full of romantic stories, he fell in love with Devyani, the most beloved daughter of Sukracharya. Devyani wished to marry him, but at first he refused to accept her because of her being a daughter of a Brahmana. According to Shastras, a Brahmana could marry the daughter of Brahmana. They were very much cautious about Varna Sankara population in the world. Sukracharya amended this law of forbidden marriage and include Emperor Yayati to accept Devyani. Devyani had a girlfriend named Sarmista, who also fell in love with the emperor and thus went with her friend Devyani. Sukracharya forbade Emperor Yayati to call Sarmista into his bedroom, but Yayati could not strictly follow his instructions. He secretly married Sarmista also and begot sons by her. When this was known by Devyani, she went to her father and lodged a complaint. Yayati was much attached to Devyani, and when he went to his father-in-law's place to call her, Sukracharya was angry with him and cursed him to become impotent. Yayati begged his father-in-law to withdraw his curse, but the sage asked Yayati to ask youthfulness from his son and let them become old as the condition of his becoming potent. He had 5 sons, 2 from Devyani and 3 from Sarmista. From his 5 sons, namely, first one is Yadu, second one is Turvasu, third one is Dhruyu, fourth is Anu, and 5th one was Puru. 5 famous dynasties, namely the Yadu dynasty, the Yavana, the Turk dynasty, the Bhoja dynasty, the Laika dynasty, Greek dynasty, and the Kaurava dynasty all emanated to spread all over the world. So here we can see that they were ruling the whole world, all these different dynasties we can see all around the world. So how much powerful our old kings were, they were spread it all over the world. And this proves that the kings were ruling the whole world and not only India, basically. He reached the heavenly planets by dint of his pious act, but he fell down from there because of his self-advertisement and criticizing other great souls, which is, we know, all of us know that it is a great offense to criticize the devotees and elevated souls, because that one thing Krishna never tolerates from anyone. And that was a reason of fall of King Yayati as well from the heavenly planets. After his fall, his daughter and grandson bestowed upon him their accumulated virtues, and by the help of his grandson and friend Sibi, he was again promoted to the heavenly kingdom. How lucky to have somebody pious in your family, that they can give their virtue and you can go back up on the heavenly planets. So Yayati was very lucky from the beginning, it looked like it. He was again pronounced to have the heavenly kingdom, becoming one of the assembly members of the Yamraja, with whom he is staying as a devotee. He performed more than 1,000 different sacrifices, gave in charity very liberally, and was a very influential king. His majestic power was felt all over the world. His youngest son agreed to award him his youthfulness when he was troubled with lustful desires. So still he could not get rid of this lust, basically. And we all know that in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna has mentioned that the lust is the biggest enemy of anyone to achieve the supreme Godhead. So Yayati suffered a lot with this lust, and even for 1,000 years, he had youthfulness from his son. So like Puru gave his youthfulness to King Yayati, and he became older than his father, basically. So finally, he became detached from worldly life and returned the youthfulness again to his son Puru. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that dharma, artha, kama, and the moksha. The reason of that steps is like, if you know the dharma, then you can be in control when you have got the artha. Like artha means the material opulences, the wealth, the prestige and everything. And then you enjoy the kama, like material opulences, in following those principles of dharma. And after some times, everybody gets detached with this material opulence, because in the life teaches you so many other things. And then we can reach to the level of achieving the moksha. So this is what exactly we can see from the Yayati's life as well, that like he was very lustful and very fallen down king before, but after a while when he learned dharma, then he still enjoyed the material. That he did the sense gratification and stuff, and then after that he reaches to the stage that he realizes that this is not the something what he's after, and then he gives back his youthfulness to his son, and then finally becomes detached from the worldly life and return the youthfulness to the young son Puru. So he wanted to hand over the kingdom to Puru as well. But his noblemen and the subjects did not agree, because Puru was the youngest son. And normally the kingdom goes to the oldest son, basically, as per the Vedic life and rituals were. But Yayati could manage to explain his subjects the greatness of Puru, because he knew that Puru had more good qualities, knowledge, than any other son of his, and strength. So they agreed to accept Puru as the king. And thus the Emperor Yayati retired from family life and left home for the forest. And then he observed all the tapasya and then returned back to the Godhead. Like after that, he achieved that. But in Vedic times, we can see that they had thousands and thousands of years to live, whereas we don't have that much time in this material life. So we have to be very careful what we do. Anything we do will be affecting our path, basically, to the spiritual world, So it is not very easy for us to just not be Krishna conscious, and especially in this world, basically, that full of so much of the material miseries. So let's take a little bit of recap on this chapter 12. So we are at the moment hearing about the birth of the Emperor Parikshit. So far in this chapter, we have heard about how Maharaj Parikshit was saved from Brahmastra by Krishna in the womb of Mother Uttara. How did he, and then we will be seeing some more stuff about how did he rule his kingdom and how did he die. We have some idea. We heard the story that how did Lord Parikshit died. He had a curse and he had 7 days to live and what he did. So when I say glorifying the death in Srimad Bhagavatam, they've glorified the death of King Parikshit, which we saw in this purport. So have you ever thought that why Lord Parikshit's death was glorified? Come on, it's interactive class. Someone.
Can you please repeat the question?
So in Srimad Bhagavatam, why are we glorifying death of King Parikshit?
Because of him, Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Shukadev Goswami.
Yes, perfect. So basically, he did not get entangled into the material opulences and material desires, isn't it? So what happens when we die? Not many people know about it, apart from our family and friends, isn't it? When we have, even if someone has to say something about us, they will have to find some good stuff, good things, what we did in our life. Because we don't, in the material world, we are not thinking, we are not doing what actually is good, what should be done as per the Shastras. So it is so hard. But with Parikshit, with the King Parikshit, it was totally a different thing. King Parikshit was given 7 days. Imagine if suppose someone else like us Lord have got 7 days, what would we have done? Okay, now we know that we have heard the Srimad Bhagavatam, but imagine the non-devotees, what will they do? Bucket list of their life, isn't it? Let me do this, let me do this, let me do this. I know my 7 days, I can do all these things in 7 days. Now I have to finish all these things in 7 days. They don't even think about anything else apart from this material entanglement. But so that is actually the reason Srila Vyasadeva is glorifying all these great personalities in Srimad Bhagavatam, so that we get some sort of an understanding how to live our life, even how to die at the time of death, what our state of mind should be, basically. So, we can have a quick cap of the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam here as well, because imagine if all these things were not described in Srimad Bhagavatam, how will we get all this knowledge and how we will go back to Godhead? So how much we are in debt to Srila Vyasadeva and especially to Narad Muni, actually, who inspired Srila Vyasadeva to write this Srimad Bhagavatam. So it was the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, Chapter 3, verse 40. So in that verse, it is explained that Srimad Bhagavatam is not ordinary literature. So anyone know, apart from Sri Devi Mataji, can someone tell me that what is Srimad Bhagavatam is called?
Amala Puran, Mataji.
Huh?
Amala Puran.
Yeah, Amala Puran, and then what else? What is it represents?
Krishna.
Yes, exactly. That's it. Yeah. So it is even called incarnation of Lord Krishna as well in this material world, isn't it? Because Krishna, when left this material world, he was asked this question: that what will we do without you being in this, not being in this material world? So Krishna said that I will be living still in these shastras. So follow the shastras. So when when we talk about Shastra, we should be thinking about that, oh, this is actually Krishna. It's not some ordinary literature what we are reading or what we are having it. So if we read all these things, like Srila Prabhupada said, if you read these Shastras in very detail with all your heart, Krishna reveals all this knowledge to us, Lord. And we can get this path, we can follow this path of Krishna consciousness and go back to the Godhead.
Just a question at this point, Sukhavaha Mataji, please. Would you like to share that verse? Would you like to screen share that verse you were talking about?
Yeah, I can do that. Give me 1 minute. I need to bring it up, yeah?
Yes, please. Thank you.
No problems. Let me first of all stop sharing.
I wish I could do that job for you, but for some reason I cannot record to the cloud. So I'm forced to record on this computer. And then once I do that, it will not let me do anything else.
No, don't worry, don't worry. I will bring it up. That's fine. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen now? Yeah, okay, perfect. So this is the verse, Canto 1, Chapter 3, verse 40. Idam Bhagavatam Nam Puranam Brahma Sammitam Uttamasdoka Charitam Chakra Bhagwan Rishi Nishreyasya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasti Ayanam Mahat. So in this one, in the translation, Srila Prabhupada explains that this Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. How nice, isn't it? So let's read the purport. This is really good thing to understand. So Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declared that Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless sound representation of all Vedic knowledge and history. There are selected histories of great devotees who are in direct contact with the personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Lord Sri Krishna and is therefore non different from him. Srimad Bhagavatam should be worshipped as respectfully as we worship the Lord. Thereby, we can derive the ultimate blessings of the Lord through its careful and patient study. So this is what Srila Prabhupada says, that we can get the ultimate blessings of Lord through its careful and patient study. As God is all light, all bliss, and all perfection, so also is Srimad Bhagavatam. We can have all the transcendental light of the Supreme Brahman, Sri Krishna, from the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, provided it is received through the medium of the transparent spiritual master. Lord Chaitanya's private secretary, Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami, advised all intending visitors who came to see the Lord at Puri to make a study of the Bhagavatam from the person Bhagavatam. Now, who is person Bhagavatam? Person Bhagavatam is the self-realized bona fide spiritual master. And through him only can one understand the lesson of Bhagavatam. In order to receive the desired results, one can derive from the study of the Bhagavatam all benefits that are possible to be derived from the personal presence of the Lord. It carries with it all the transcendental bliss of Lord Krishna that we can expect from his personal contacts. Isn't it amazing that how much Srimad Bhagavatam is potent? And having Srimad Bhagavatam and reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we are actually having the association of Krishna. There was Srila Prabhupada even mentioned once that when there is a discussion of Lord Krishna going on somewhere with the devotees, Krishna himself loves to be there. And there was a story behind that as well, that there was one devotee in, if I remember properly, I don't know, correct me, Sridevi, if I'm wrong. Yeah, please, Sridevi Mataji. There was the rain was falling, heavy rain was falling, and one devotee goes in the shed, cow shed, and he gets the chance to sit down in that cow shed that time. And the other devotee comes, and the first devotee was there under the cow shed. He gives this chance to the other devotee to come in, and then they start discussing about the Krishna, because two devotees, they will not discuss anything else about Lord Sri Krishna's pastimes or Lord, what are the Krishna consciousness and stuff like that. Then the third devotee comes, and then there was hardly any space, but still they squeeze into each other. And the third devotee enters into it as well. And then all the three devotees were feeling there is somebody else is there in this shade apart from them three. And that's what was explained by Srila Prabhupada, that the presence of somebody who they were experiencing was actually Krishna himself, because Krishna comes there as well. So, okay, you're discussing about me, you're talking about my glories, let me come and listen to it as well. And he comes and blesses you that time. So anytime when you are discussing about Krishna, you should understand that, oh, Krishna will be somewhere here only, you know, he must be listening to it. Although we are not that qualified, or we think that we are not that high at the level, but Krishna doesn't see that. Krishna just sees your love and your care and what your mindset is, because Krishna is there, is Paramatma in our heart. And he's the only one who can feel what our thoughts are, what our mind is thinking at this stage. So if so that another important point I would like to mention over here is the association, you know, which is mentioned in this purport as well. Srila Prabhupada said that how much important is this association. So a association of the devotees is like having association of Krishna himself as well. Because the reason behind is, when there, as I mentioned in this story, when there are devotees, they will not discuss about some material thing. Oh, I saw this football match and there were two goals and this team won or that team won. Or else they would not criticize anyone like any other devotee or any other person. Their discussion will be more likely on Krishna consciousness or discussing the Krishna's pastime. So if we are in association of those pure devotees, imagine our mind will be away from the material world, away from all the material miseries and opulences. We will be just thinking about Krishna, discussing about Krishna. If also another advantage of devotees association is, which I have experienced myself, and I can thank Sri Devi Mataji and all other God family for that, that being with me when I had tough time, I was going through very hard time, but all the devotees were there with me and they supported me so much. So that's another advantage of the association, that, you know, when you are passing through the rough time in your life, or when you have got some sort of material misery striking on you, the association of devotees help so much to uplift you back onto the platform, and it won't let you have any depression. What people are having mental problems, depression, feeling lonely, all these things, we can avoid it. And I would like to quote here one of the very nice quote from Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada said that, where is it gone? I just, give me 1 second, I'll find it, yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, so Srila Prabhupada said that association of Lord doesn't mean personal presence. The Lord is not a material object whose presence one can feel for such an association. So to have the Lord's association, what else can we have? Can someone else tell me? If you want the association of Lord, what are the things in this material world given by
devotees?
Shastras and Vedanta? Huh?
Are there devotees?
Yes. Then who else?
The spiritual master.
Yes, spiritual master, exactly. So as we saw in this previous verse as well, that bona fide spiritual master is a representative of the Krishna only. So we should be seeing our spiritual master as representative of Krishna. For us, he is Krishna in this material world, who guides us. And if we follow spiritual master's instructions, Srila Prabhupada said that definitely you will go back to Godhead. So how much mercy Krishna is given to us in this Kali Yuga and in this material world to go back to Godhead, you know? And we should be, if we will be foolish, like Srila Prabhupada said, if we don't follow this and we don't do what Srila Prabhupada has told us to do. So another question now is coming is, we can see here is Maharaj Parikshit was a very good Shrota. So he was a good hearer of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And we know the 9 processes of bhakti. So he achieved the liberation with just hearing about the Srimad Bhagavatam. So what are other 9 processes of bhakti? Shravanam is what Parikshit Maharaj experted in and showed us that we can do that. But what are other ones?
Shravanam, Kirtanam,
Yeah.
Padasevanam,
Yeah.
Archanam,
Yeah.
uh,
Vandanam.
Vandanam,
Yeah.
Dasya. Sakhyam, Ruchi.
Yeah, Dasya and Atmanivedanam.
Atmanivedanam. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. So can you give example from Srimad Bhagavatam, who is the expert in these processes of bhakti? Like, let's say Shravanam is Parikshit Maharaj. So who was in Kirtanam?
Shukadev Goswami.
Yeah, you know everything, Mataji. I can't win with you. Okay, Smaranam. Smaranam, come on. This is easy one. Everyone knows. Who used to have Smaran of Krishna all the time, all the time? A little boy.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Yes, Prahlad Maharaj. Okay, Padasevanam. We see this picture all the time of Krishna. Somebody is doing Padasevanam.
Lakshmi Devi.
Yes,
Lakshmi.
Lakshmi Devi. Yes. Okay. Archanam, I think you might find this is a bit difficult. I will tell you. It was King Prithu. So who performed all the Vedic sacrifices to please Vishnu, and Vishnu was really pleased with him. Vandanam. Something happened in Vrindavan. Come on, I'll tell you that. Akrura. He prostrated himself before the Lord, because as soon as he entered the Vrindavan, he was so in ecstasy that he just fell on the floor. He was thinking, oh my God, my Lord is here. And then he just, when he saw actually Lord Krishna, he could not control himself. He just fell straight on Krishna's feet, and Krishna just picked him up and put him into his heart. So he achieved the perfection by Vandanam. Then Dasya. This is easy. Come on, I'm not going to give you no hints for this one. This is so easy. We all have heard this story a lot of time, and we all pray to this personality to give us some sort of a devotional service. He conquered everything for Lordship.
Hanumanji.
Yes, Hanumanji. That's it. Great. Thank you. Brilliant. Sakya. This is another easy one.
Arjun, Sudama.
Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita said this thing as well in verse 4.3.
Arjun.
Yes, Arjun.
Sudama.
Arjun. Sudama is, but for Krishna, Arjuna is like, he actually describes that you are my friend and devotee. So I'm going to speak to Bhagavad Gita. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjun just because he was his friend and he surrendered himself as a devotee. And the last one is Atma Nivedana. Somebody who offered himself to Krishna.
Draupadi.
Not quite.
Bali Maharaj.
Yes, Bali Maharaj, exactly. Offering himself to Krishna in the form of Vaman Dev, when Krishna came, and the third feet, where was he going to put? So Bali Maharaj put his head, and he put Bali Maharaj did not need to do that as well. Even Vaman Dev said that you don't need to do that, but Bali Maharaj accepted that. So he achieved the perfection that way. And that's the Atma Nivedana. So Srila Prabhupada explains that devotees can attain perfection in their devotional service and achieve the supreme planet just by performing only one devotional service out of the 9 ones. But not for us, Lord, because we are too low for that one. So we have to focus on the devotional service, everything, whatever we can. And slowly by slowly, we will be empowered to do something which will help us to elevate. But the supreme personalities like this are described in Srimad Bhagavatam, that they are so great that they have achieved the perfection just by performing one devotional service by all their heart, and they did it. So do we still have time? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, fine. So in this material world, okay, now let's talk about this material world, which we are in, and how much miseries we are suffering in this material world is. So in the material world, there is loads of distinctions, and there is everything works as per the relativity. So if we are an officer or if we are a peon, so the officer will be higher than us if we are peon, yeah. But in the spiritual world, if we are performing a duty of an officer or a peon, doesn't matter. We will be all counted equally. So in the temple, like Guru Maharaj explained so many times, that if you're doing the deity service or if you're cleaning the toilet, for Krishna, both of you are at the same level, same platform. And it is there is no difference. You will achieve the same sort of a stage on the spiritually. So how blissful is the spiritual world? This is just one example given to you. Now, another one is like, there are some spiritual things, or how can we perform it in this material world? So anything, nirbade Krishna sambade. So in relationship to Krishna, if we do anything in this material world, it becomes spiritual. That's what another thing which is explained by Guru Maharaj, and even in the Bhagavad Gita, it is explained that anything related to spirit is spiritual and anything related to the matter is material. So we can relate everything of us. And I think if we start that will be too much. But in short, anything if in this material world, if we relate to Krishna, it becomes the spiritual and we can get the benefit spiritually out of it. So that's another lesson we have to learn in this one. And now if we go a little bit back on this verse again and see that previously what we saw that glories of Yudhishthira Maharaj, and Yudhishthira Maharaj was the grandfather of Maharaj Parikshit. So how great qualities Yudhishthira Maharaj has had, which has been already described in previously, so I'm not going back on that one. But his mood as a king, anyone remember what was Yudhishthira Maharaj's mood was there as a king? And he was really worried that his heir should be carrying this mood and following his footsteps or not. So what was his mood? Anyone?
So,
Yes. So exactly. Yes. And that's why his kingdom was so nice, like Ram Rajya, wasn't it? His aim, he was not involved in any sense gratification. He was there just to serve everyone. And his subjects were so happy. And his glories were all around 3 worlds. So that was his fear, that will his hair be as good as his forefathers were, like Yudhishthira Maharaj followed the footsteps of his forefather and ancestors. Will the new king be same? So when Parikshit Maharaj was born, he was really happy because he was a boy born in the family, so that they know that there is a heir there in the family, so that who can run the kingdom after him. But he wanted to know exactly that whether this son will be as capable of conducting the holding ruling the kingdom like all the forefathers will be. So he asked the Brahmanas. That's all we have seen in the previous verses, that and that's where we are finding these qualities of Parikshit Maharaj. So he performed the Jataka Karma and asked the Brahmana to read the horoscope, and all these characteristics of the Parikshit Maharaj's, qualities of the Parikshit Maharaj's came. So does anyone remember what qualities of Parikshit Maharaj we have discussed so far? Sorry, I'm doing the revision, isn't it? Basically. Okay, let me just tell you all the qualities what we discussed so far. So first one we discussed was from verse 19. So he will be the king like Ikshvaku. He will be maintainer of all the living entities, like son of Manu. The second quality we discussed was he will be same as like Lord Ram, following the Brahminical principles. especially being true to his promises. Third quality we discussed was munificent donor of charity and protector of the surrendered, like King Sibi. Fourth one which we discussed was he will expand the name and fame of the family like Lord Bharata. So the King Bharata, who was a son of Dushyanta, he will be similar to that. Then we discussed he will be the great bowman like his grandfather Arjuna. And also he will be irresistible as fire and unsurpassable as the ocean. Parikshit Maharaj will be as strong as lion and as worthy as a shelter as the Himalaya mountains. Because in his kingdom, the comparison with Himalaya mountains means in his kingdom, all the rishis and the brahmanas will be protected. Like they are protected in Himalayas. Another thing was he will be forbearing like the earth and tolerant as his parents. Then we discussed the child will be like his grandfather Yudhishthir or Brahma in equanimity of mind. And also he will be munificent like the Lord of Kailash Hill Siva, and he will be resort of everyone like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, who is even the shelter of Goddess of Fortune. So all these qualities we have so far discussed, and the new qualities what we have seen in this verse were he will be as magnanimous and very generous like Rantideva. We saw the story of the Rantideva, and a little bit update on that one, that Rantideva was in the kingdom there was a drought, and there was no food left after he donated all his food, and he himself and family were hungry for 8 days. And the King Rantideva was feeling really, really weak. But when Vishwamitra, came in the form of a Brahmin, and Rantideva somehow got one bowl of porridge with him and a glass of water. So all the beggars and the Brahmanas were coming, and he just, although he was hungry, family was hungry, he just was giving away those porridge little by little, everything was finished. When Vashishta Muni came, there was nothing left, but there was a water. So he just offers the water to the Muni, and they were so pleased with his generosity that they blessed him, and he achieved the perfection like that. So that was a little bit of update on the Rantideva. And Yayati, we have seen the complete story in this purport only. Srila Prabhupada kindly written the story, and he was following the religion, how easily he was elevated, although his youth was not very good. So association of the devotees and the following the religion helps so much. So can anyone say that in this verse, Srila Prabhupada said that Parikshit Maharaj will have the qualities of Krishna? Do you know how many qualities? I won't ask you all the qualities. I'll just ask you how many qualities Krishna possesses as per Bhakti Rasamrita.
64.
64, yeah. So how many devotees can have?
78%.
Yeah, 50.
50%.
No, 78% is fine.
Or 55.
So 50. Number is 50. The 55 is for Lord
Shiva.
Brahma
Right.
and Lord Shiva. Yeah, Shiva Tattva. Yeah. So they can have 55, and Lord Vishnu can have 60. And 4 qualities what Krishna has, that only Krishna can have is number 1.
His beautiful threefold bending form, Tribanga. His
Then
flute
second
playing,
one.
his sweet flute playing.
Yes.
And his very sweet associates, the gopis.
Yeah.
And his sweet leelas.
Yeah. Perfect. So all those 4 qualities only Krishna can have. No one else can have it. But in this verse, it is mentioned that King Parikshit can have 78%. So all the qualities of the devotees, 50 qualities of Krishna, as a devotee, Parikshit Maharaj was having it. So he, with these qualities, was already blessed by Krishna anyways. And now there's another, one more point I would like, sorry.
There's one more quality, Mataji. I think it's still going to come in another verse, next verse, maybe next or after that. He's the chastiser of the quarrelsome elements or activities. And he's the Raj Rishi, so he's the father for the saintly people, saintly sages. That is one quality.
Yeah, so all these qualities are coming. So I don't want to go and open up all the suspense. We will be discussing that in the next verses anyways. This was just the recap so that we remember what we learned, because it's hard. I found it difficult when I was meditating on this verse. I found it difficult what qualities we have studied. So I just wanted to go back and just do the little bit of recap that these are the qualities we have studied of Parikshit Maharaj, and then another qualities will come in the next verses anyways. But another form of Krishna in this material world, what we should be having association of is what? The most important one.
Deji?
Sorry, can you please repeat?
So another form of Krishna in this material world, we can have the association. Actually, we should have the association of that. By it was the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Spiritual
Holy
master.
name.
Huh?
Holy name.
Holy name, exactly, yeah. So the Sankirtana movement. So in this material world, the only way is like, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, only way is by Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam. And in Siksastakam also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to us that Chetudarpan Marjanam Bhavam Mahadava Agni Nirvapanam. So the glories of Sri Sankirtana movement can cleanse our heart and dust accumulated for the years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. And so in this modern world, only the way we can achieve, we are all Shudras, as Guru Maharaj mentions, that we are not even to Vaishya level. We are so fallen, and we need to cleanse our heart, cleanse our mind, and only way we can do is by Harinam. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So I think I will end. It's already 1 hour. I'm so sorry I took a long time, but please give me any comments I need to improve, or anything I said which was wrong, correct me, or if you have any question, I'll try and answer.
Would you please like to do stop screen share so that you
can
see? Oh yeah,
sorry, I completely forgot. Sorry, yeah, that's better.
No problem. And we can humbly request all the participants to turn on their cameras so that you can ask your questions personally to Sukhavaha Mataji. Thank you, Sukhavaha Mataji, for a very enlightening class on King Parikshit, and then King Rantidev, then Yayati, and so many beautiful points that you brought out. So I'm sure devotees have lots of realizations and questions. So we have Scarlett Mataji, who has raised her hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, and thank you for the wonderful class. I learned a lot today, really. When we read about Yayati, and he was the one who ruled the Yadu dynasty, right?
His sons.
Then it means that he is ancestor to Lord Krishna.
Sorry?
Lord Krishna is also from Yadu dynasty, right?
Yeah. So Lord Krishna's Yadu dynasty Yeah, he was a Yadu dynasty, definitely. But
It's
this
almost
Yadu is this Yadu is different dynasty than Lord Krishna, because Krishna's is Yadu Vansha is different than the Yadu. So Yaman, sort of, if you have heard of Yaman it is similar to that one. As far as my knowledge is, but I can check it for you, Mataji. This is what I remember reading, but I will definitely check. That's a good question. Thank you for asking. And it'll help me to find out the answer as well.
Thank you.
But they were two different dynasties, that I know. Sridevi Mataji, do you know anything about that? Then please help.
I don't know. I thought the other dynasty is the same. So I was nodding my head. But I didn't know there are two different Yadu dynasties. So
I vaguely remember, but I might be wrong as well. I need to find out this, definitely.
okay.
I will come back to you, Mataji, definitely for that. Thank you for asking that question.
Sorry to interrupt, but this just with Scarlet Mataji's question, I just got another follow-up question that the Vrishni dynasty and Yadu dynasty both are same, or they are having a little difference?
No idea.
Because
I need to look into that one, definitely.
Because we have heard that we many times hear that Krishna belongs to Yadu dynasty, but I've read in Mukundmala Stotra as well, Vrishni Vansham Pradipam.
Yeah, Vrishni dynasty. I heard about that as well, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was.
I will check that, definitely. I haven't done much of. I didn't get, frankly speaking, I didn't get a chance to do research in that one a lot, because there was this verse is really, really potent. I really loved it so much to take into for this verse. So yeah, but
Devo. I love this source as well. Thank you. Yeah.
We have another question by Scarlet Mataji. Please go ahead.
Yes, please. Shukracharya, it mentioned here Shukracharya and mentioned like Brahmana, but I might be wrong. Please forgive me if I'm wrong, and please correct me. Shukracharya is a demon's priestess, right? Or priest.
Priest of demons, yeah.
Demon, right? Still, we get to call Brahmana.
His qualification was there. Although he was a priest of Demana, his qualification was very high. So we respect we respect him. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions, comments, realizations? Bhadra Mataji, you want to say something?
No. It's so beautiful class, Sukhavaha Mataji. Hare Krishna. That's really, really nice. I wasn't really able to sit down and listen, but I got a glimpse of it. So no, I don't have to say other than just appreciation. And it was so blissful class. It was, yeah.
That's your mercy. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
See, this is the mercy of the devotees. Whatever you say, they are merciful on you.
It was so nice. And yeah, everybody joined in and made quite family like class. So thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Namrata Mataji.
Namrata Mataji, go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. My humble obeisances. It was a really wonderful class. I just wanted to say that. And I am very much thankful for the quick revision of all the interactive questions. That is the best wonderful part I found. And of course, the explanation was also of the purport was also wonderful. But then, we are learning some slokas from many days. Then a quick revision is always a cherry on the cake. So thank you.
Actually, this was my revision as well, basically, because I come when I was meditating, as I said before, I was lost completely, and I said, this one was a good thing. I hope everybody appreciate that. But yeah, and thank you for mentioning that.
Yes, I totally appreciate it because it's always wonderful to the revising the key points. I always like that when I am learning or doing things. The revision of the key points is very much important for me. So you stuck. I mean, you hammered on that. So thank you for that. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else would like to share their realizations, ask further questions, get some clarifications, or anything else? So it looks like we have run out of questions, comments. So we can thank Sukhavaha Mataji for rising to the occasion and doing her best to give us such an enlightening class. Thank you, Sukhavaha Mataji. We hope to see you more often. And we really appreciate all the various insights and all the various, like a multifaceted jewel. We got a glimpse of so many different aspects of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord's pastimes, his devotees, the role of the spiritual master. You brought out in such a wonderful way so many things that are important in our day-to-day spiritual practice. So very practical also at the same time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your encouragement. You are always encouraging. Get so much inspiration from you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you all, dear devotees, and we will see you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you
Hare
again, Sukhavaha.
Thank you,
All glories
Mataji.
to
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada. All glories to our Gurudev and all glories to the wonderful devotees. Hare Bo.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Jai,
Krishna.
jai.
Thank you, Mataji.
So lucky to have this association. So lucky.
True, very true. Thank you, dear devotees. I will end the call now. Thank you again, Sukhavaha. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.